In police speak, brown skin means bullseye. So we pour lead into flesh, as if blood could baptize these barbarians and make them men. Niggers and spics, the only trash on the street that talks. So don't call it police brutality, call it sanitation. Don't speak to me of emancipation, I just want to make it back to my children tonight. No matter how many Tyrones I gotta kill before I get home. Handcuffs on a dead man.
Fitting for a would-be husband days before his wedding. Makeshift cufflinks, the only kind a black man can afford, because black men in a Ford must have been carrying guns.
And black men in a Ford, they must have been aiming at us. Otherwise, why would I feel so afraid?
I wasn't afraid when I lost my life on an uneven playing field in the land of Queens, where I, a young prince, soon to be married to my princess, who would take my last name, Bell, in a church of ringing bells. But before that, in an instant, 4 bullets rung the doorbell to my heart's entrance, ending my existence, leaving me voiceless, boxed into the idiot box as a 5 o'clock story. No chance to freely use my voice box to protest the 50 shots aimed towards my chest.
I'm sorry, but this gun makes me feel manly. In these concrete jungles where monkeys came to be kings, but I'll show them, blow them to a million little pieces, and make for damn sure that little whore's father never picks her up after recess.
What do you mean? Go back where you came from. My ancestors worked hard to build this country, brick by brick, school by school.
Wetbacks and goons, filling our prisons to the brim until we can't tell the difference between escaped prisoners and black men. So everybody's a suspect. You all fit the description. 50 shots and life still goes on for me.
Life ain't nothing but a memory for me. Body laid to rest before my time, whatever that means. I mean, I guess it was my time, but is it too much to ask for a little bit more time to spend with my daughter, who at this time has no perception of time, but in time will try to remember a time when she once had a very own personal giant who roamed the earth.
They're trying to put us on the endangered species list. Instead of walking down the aisle, I stand in the morgue with my would-be husband where we take our would-be wedding pictures. See, when you die unjustly in this country, everything is a would-be.
Would-be college graduates.
And would-be thugs.
Would-be good cops.
And would-be guns.
Would-be self-defense butts.
Would-be justice can't seem to show her face around these parts.
She's probably tied up at a funeral because justice is a black woman left waiting at the altar, tears on her face. She places her bridal bouquet on Sean Bell's grave. Tell him I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm just afraid to raise a black son.
And now my family is being forced to eat the feces and concocted stories of these white men. The same men who nearly eradicated the buffalo and bison for sport. So it's not even that far of a stretch to see they got bored and decided to play the most dangerous game. We never hid from blue and red. We hide from blue and white. It doesn't matter if you're born with blonde hair and light eyes, because everybody dies is buried in black. Color is irrelevant, because when you get shot, everybody bleeds.
That melanin in your blood is a disease, and best believe I've got the prescription. Only death can cure your sickness, the black plague of the Bronx. You better bow when you're asked to, check and jive when I tell you to. Training day is over and I'm still the one holding the gun.
Whether 50 shots or 100,
take your pick.
Another name,
another grave,
another reason to shoot 50 times.
Stop.
And reload, just another reason.
Another face too dark to be a husband.
Too black to be human.
Just stop.
And reload,
More target practice for the 5-0.
Too alien to materialize into something real.
Another
murderer, drug dealer.
Look-alike Sean Bell.
Next to Adam Weishaupt, Albert Pike is the most influential Freemason in history. Pike was asked by American Freemasons to reform its rituals. He did so in a Masonic handbook entitled Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Rite of Freemasonry, published in 1871. The Knights of the Golden Circle, or KGC, was a Masonic organization dedicated to establishing a golden circle of territories between Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean, and the southern states, which would officially sanction slavery. Albert Pike was associated with the KGC and created several spin-off groups from it, including the Ku Klux Klan. While he was Sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Albert Pike created his own office of Chief Justice of the KKK. This is also borne out at the location of his statue, which is in Judiciary Square in Washington, D.C. Albert Pike is responsible for inflaming racial tensions that were the official cause of the U.S. Civil War.
Isaiah 14:12 says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. This statement comes from Albert Pike himself. He said, that which we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, Sovereign Grand Inspectors General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, which is Jesus, calumniate, which means spread false and harmful statements about him? Yes, Lucifer is God. This is what they believe. They also believe in Ordo Ab Chao, which is a chapter in his book Morals and Dogma. Ordo Ab Chao is Latin, meaning order out of chaos. Agendas are formulated, designed to give the powerful more power, and to prepare the nation for a dictatorship. The old law will pass away.
Demonstrations following the interview. His lawyer says Pantaleo told the grand jury he subdued Garner with a technique taught at the police academy.
Protesters in Phoenix are angry too this morning over a police shooting there that killed an unarmed black man. A white police officer shot and killed the man during a struggle on Tuesday.
A 12-year-old boy is dead today after being shot and killed by two Cleveland police officers. The officers were responding to a
fire that's burning in Ferguson. Back to Mike Tobin on scene. Mike, the fear had been that this would spread across the country. It is to some degree, but no violence anywhere else. Tell us what's market looted of liquor and the rest. We've seen windows blown out with baseball bats at a McDonald's, one that we had seen before, and now, Mike.
Newspaper in Liberia just published an article on their front page with the headline, Ebola AIDS manufactured by Western Pharmaceuticals, US DoD. The article basically accuses the US of manufacturing this Ebola outbreak in what they call an American military medical industry scheme to use Africa as a testing ground for bioweapons.
We don't even understand freedom anymore. We are a country that is headed towards socialism, totalitarianism, beyond your wildest imagination. I have to tell you, I'm doing a story tonight that I wanted to debunk these FEMA camps. I'm tired of hearing. You know about them? Sure. I'm tired of hearing. I wanted to debunk them. Well, we've now for several days done research on them. I can't debunk them.
This here is a picture of the FEMA burial vaults. Now, these things here can hold millions of people, and these are just two of the locations, one in Atlanta, Georgia, the other in Houston, Texas.